Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the CTTL module entitled Education with Purpose, Understanding the Impact of Outcome-Centric Learning. For this part, we will cover the key components of outcomes-based education. Within this installment of the module, we will cover OBE framework and components in the holistic point of view, the point of view of the university. Then, we will zero into OBE in the point of view of a teaching faculty member, as this is most relevant to you. As full-time teaching faculty member, our concern is within the teaching learning system. Here, we will talk about the OBE syllabus, its basic components, and their alignment. We will illustrate the backward design concept as a way to ensure alignment of the syllabus components. Then, we will move on to assessment and evaluation and continuous quality improvement, or CQI. As teaching faculty members, we are expected to do these activities within our classes. In part 1 of this module, we were introduced for the first time to the concept of OBE. It was just a very simple, initial look of the OBE concept. In practice, OBE is a university-wide system and should be embedded in its entire academic and quality assurance processes. To put us in the correct perspective, let us refer to another way, more practical and holistic description of OBE. OBE is a system that covers the following, with a kind of graduate in mind. We then design and implement a teaching and learning system that would produce that graduate. We measure to verify that we produce the kind of graduate that we intended. We continuously improve the system to make it more efficient in producing the intended kind of graduate and even update the graduate profile if needed. We involve key constituents that include the industry, alumni, students, accrediting bodies, and government agencies, since all of them have a stake in our product, the graduates. Let us be clear that OBE is not a concern that is purely of the class instructors only. In fact, it is a system that involves all layers of academic administration, up to the university president's council level. We can represent OBE system in a schematic diagram as a framework where its basic components are clearly shown, including the interrelationships among the components. I would have to describe it as completely as I can, and I request your patience as this would be a lengthy exercise. OBE starts with the school's mission, vision, goal statements. These are anchored to the identity of the school, like for XU, a Jesuit school, and to how the school situate itself in the societal context. Its served community, like Mindanao first, the country, then the ASEAN region. Stakeholders, such as industry, alumni, students, government agencies, will be involved, providing relevant inputs. The school responds to the education needs of the community to produce graduates that will become productive citizens of the community. The school has its quality objectives such as the graduate attributes. These are the descriptions of the graduates when they are already working or practicing their fields of specialization. Per academic program, the generalized graduate attributes are made more specific. For example, a competent graduate may be named technically competent civil engineering graduate in the BS Civil Engineering program, or a competent psychology graduate in the BS Psychology program. Program educational objectives, or POs, are statements that describe the graduates who are practicing their profession 3 to 5 years since graduation. At a lower level, TOs are restated in more detailed way and named program outcomes, or POs, also called student outcomes, or SOs. TOs refer to the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that a student should acquire as they progress through the academic program. An example PO statement would be, by graduation, students will have the ability to read, write, and speak effectively, and utilize modern means of communication. At a lower level than the POs, courses are then identified that would be platforms where the students could learn these POs in a process we call curriculum mapping. Within courses, course learning outcomes, or CLOs, are made and will be the basis of specifying the assessments and teaching learning activities. With the courses included in the curriculum, the school then provides the learning environment and resources, and teachers will create the teaching learning system. We then run our curriculum. We hold classes, give assessments, and grades. Grades are our measure of learning outcomes attainment. Finally, assessment and evaluation at the program and course levels are done periodically to measure attainment of intended outcomes Also, we identify and implement improvement actions to address gaps or weaknesses. This is the CQI step of the entire system. Wow, that was quite a long description, and with a complicated drawing too. It is long since we described a complex, multi-layered and cyclic system. From the previous slide, where we discussed lengthily the entire OBE system, it was made clear that the comprehensive management of the system lies within the responsibility of the academic administrators of the university. As teaching faculty members, our main concern is just within our classes. Thus, we will focus our discussion on the following aspects. 1. The teaching-learning system. Within this topic, we will limit our discussion on the syllabus and to the implementation of student-centered classes. 2. The implementation of CQI within our classes. This includes the measurement of outcomes attainment, identifying actions for improvement of learning in our classes, and implementing these the next time we teach these classes. Let us begin our discussion on the OBE syllabus. The crucial components of OBE syllabus are the following: university, college vision, mission, goals statements, the PEOs and POs, the course learning outcomes, the teaching learning activities, and the assessment tasks. What we identified here is not the complete list of items that a syllabus should have, but these are the pivotal parts for OBE implementation in your classes. A critical requirement is to ensure the constructive alignment of these components. For your convenience as instructors, you should be provided by your department chair OBE syllabus template that already contains the university and college VNG, the PEOs and POs of the academic program to which the course you are teaching belongs to. In addition, a teaching faculty member should be provided with the curriculum map document so that one would see which program outcome or outcomes is the course aligned to, as declared by the department offering the academic program. Let us focus on 3 critical components of OBE syllabus that we as class instructors would need to write ourselves. 1. Intended learning outcomes. These could be course, topic, or subtopic learning outcomes. These are written using action verbs. They specify the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that students are expected to acquire after completion of a learning unit such as the entire course, topic, or module. 2. Teaching learning activities are various strategies, methods, and resources used by teachers to create a conducive learning environment that support the achievement of the intended learning outcomes. Examples could be lectures, discussions, group work, hands-on activities, and many others. 3. Assessment tasks are designed to measure students' performance and determine the extent to which they have achieved the intended learning outcomes. These tasks can take various forms, such as tests, projects, presentations, portfolios, or performance-based assessments. Later, we will discuss tips on writing effective intended learning outcomes, selecting teaching learning activities, and assessment tasks in the coming installments of this module. For now, we will illustrate how to attain their alignment through the backward design concept. The alignment between intended learning outcomes, teaching learning activities, and assessment tasks helps create a coherent and purposeful learning experience for students. To do this, backward design model can be used. The general procedure follows the sequence of 1. Identifying the desired result or the intended learning outcomes, 2. Designing the assessments, and 3. Developing the teaching learning activities. Note that in the traditional way, one starts with the input, the topic, then set the teaching learning activity and assessment. Often faculty members select a textbook and then develop a course around the textbook. Unfortunately, once a course has been designed, many faculty do not take the time to review the course through a backwards design lens to ensure the textbook, activities, assignments, and assessments all work together to support the learning outcome the student is meant to achieve. Here we illustrate the backward design model. Let us extend the process by starting from the ultimate intention of the department to produce competent graduates. This outcome is expressed in one of the program educational objectives. Then let us design backwards down to the class instruction level. First step is the identification of desired result For example, an intended result is described in a program education objective to produce competent engineering graduate, but this is still too broad. This is why program outcomes are written. These are more specific. One relevant program outcome could be expressed like this. By graduation, the students will have the ability to apply knowledge in math to solve engineering problems. With the program outcome declared, we can provide courses that will address this intended program outcome. We call this process the curriculum mapping. To continue with our example, provision of calculus class would be one of the decisions arrived in the curriculum mapping. Now, here comes your contribution as teaching faculty member. You make a syllabus for the calculus class. You start with writing the course learning outcomes relevant to the calculus course. An example could be, by end of this class topic, the students will be able to demonstrate the application of the rules of derivation in solving relevant engineering problems. Then we proceed to designing the assessment task, such as a written computational exam. Also included here is the decision to use the university grading system. Grades are our way of quantifying the level of outcome attainment by our students. In addition, we can set your own standard for class performance. For example, we can set that a target, such as at least 90%, that the class should pass. Unfortunately, our university is not yet conscious of this part of OBE. Setting of outcomes attainment performance targets and measuring them are basic activities of CQI process within our courses. Then finally, we develop the teaching learning activities, ensuring that these are aligned to the assessment and intended learning outcome. We set the topic and the appropriate instructional activities that will maximize learning through student-centered approach. Shown here is an example of OBE syllabus. Kindly remember the crucial presence of university VNG statements, the program educational objectives, and the program outcomes. The course learning outcomes that we write should connect and align with the program outcomes. We show the alignment and connection through the use of the code link matrix, as shown in our example. Each course learning outcome is linked to some aligned program outcomes. This is another screenshot of the same OBE syllabus. We describe similar alignment between assessments and teaching learning activities. A CLO code link matrix is embedded in the list of topics for the course, which connects the assessments and teaching learning activities to the CLOs. Now let us talk about assessment and evaluation at the course level, the kind that is done by class instructors. Ideally, our work as teachers should not end upon release of student grades. We declared intended learning outcomes, and so we must measure the level of attainment. One method is the grade distribution analysis for high-stakes summative assessment tasks. Through this, we can answer questions pertaining to quality. If we set a class performance target, say, at least 90% of the class should get a passed grade, is this attained by the class? Why or why not? Another method is item analysis. We do this to see areas for improvement in our exams. We could also analyze course evaluation feedback from students. It may identify some teaching and learning issues that were not apparent to us during our classes. We close this part of the OBE process by identifying corrective or improvement actions and then implement these actions next time we teach the class again. What I described in the last slide is the process of continuous quality improvement. For the classroom level, put in simpler statements, the CQI process to be done by a course instructor in her or his classes can be expressed in just 3 statements. 1. Analysis of data. What do I find from this cohort of students? 2. Areas for improvement. What did I do in class that can be improved? 3. Action plan. What are the things that I want to do in future and how to do it? It does not end at step 3. We should implement the plans in the next teaching opportunity. This action implementation closes the loop of the PDCA cycle of OBE system. Beyond the scope of class instructors' influence, there are similar actions to be done. We should not forget that the OBE system is a multi-layered system. In the academic program or department level, the program implementers, the department chair and the dean, with the contribution of faculty members, should do CQI process as well, which is anchored on measuring the level of attainment of the declared POs and PEOs. In a similar manner, the HEI or the university will have to do a similar process of assessment, evaluation and CQI based on the level of attainment of the university level intended outcomes, the graduate attributes. We covered the OBE framework and its components. It is a university-wide system. We focused on OBE components, where a course instructor is an important agent in teaching learning system, course-level assessment and evaluation, and course-level CQI. Within teaching learning system, we focused on OBE syllabus. Within an OBE syllabus, we ensure alignment through backward design. We started from POs, then moved to CLOs, then to topics, assessments, TLAs. We are expected to do assessment and evaluation, CQI, within our courses. Similar processes of assessment and evaluation, CQI, should happen at program and university levels. As reflection activity for this module installment, kindly refer to the syllabus you have written for a class that you are teaching now. Are the PEOs and POs included? If yes, analyze the constructive alignment of the PEOs, POs, and the CLOs. Choose one topic and analyze the appropriateness of assessment and teaching learning activity indicated. If no, request for the PEOs, POs, and curriculum map from the department chair of the academic program to which your class belongs to. See what POs is your course mapped to. Analyze if there is alignment between the CLOs that you wrote and the POs. Think of a course that you have been teaching for at least twice already. What CQI activities have you done in this course? Based on what you have seen so far in your work as a faculty member in XU, is the university indeed implementing outcomes-based education? Why or why not? This concludes part 2 of this module. I hope that you learn a lot. Thank you and see you in our next installment of this module.